So the type of sports events that Network Sports deals with include, as I've mentioned, the Olympics. At the moment we're working on the Rugby World Cup, which kicks off on Friday night. Tennis, Tour de France, Spring Racing Carnival, the Australian Grand Prix, just to name a few. Our team is located here in Melbourne, home of sports, so why wouldn't we be here? Our team includes writers, editors, we've got a video producer, we have designers, front-end developers, multimedia developers, sales integration specialists, and site producers. One of our main responsibilities in Network Sport is the site build for dedicated sport event websites and content for iPads and mobile phones. These websites are created once by my team and they're syndicated across the metropolitan network. This means the site can be updated once by my team and instantly the website is updated in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth and Adelaide. So this is also, as I said, the change in the landscape, as previously not only did we have 6 reporters writing the same story, we had 6 online editors uploading the same story or 6 different versions of the same story in 6 different states at the same time. Again, a waste of resources. This is far more efficient and gives this consistent high quality coverage across our mastheads. I'd like to show you now a couple of recent examples of these syndicated sites that we've worked on if you'd like to have a look. If you bear with me, I'll yell a little bit here. I'll go to our rugby site first, which is this is for the Rugby World Cup. So Network Sports has created this website, and as I said, syndicated across. At the moment you're seeing it on the Herald Sun. It looks identical on the Daily Telegraph, on the Courier Mail, in Perth and in Adelaide. So I'll just zip down from it. But basically what we're coming up with is a high quality way to represent an event. We've sent 4 people across to New Zealand to cover the World Cup. They're filing daily for this website, but also for the paper. So they've got 2 news cycles that they're filing for. A consistent all-day coverage, so they file straight from training, they're tweeting from training. We're putting that straight up on the website with the latest pictures and the latest video. And then they file separate, unique stories for tomorrow's paper. And eventually that comes back onto the website again at midnight, and the cycle continues again. So I just want to show you a couple of features within here. I want to show you the Wall of Honour. And this is the type of quality that I'm talking about that we're trying to introduce to these products on behalf of News Limited. So for Rugby World Cup, we went out and we interviewed 14 former Wallaby captains on video and got them to explain what they feel representing their nation as a Wallaby, what it meant to them, and also the honour of having been captain of their team. Some of them were represented in World Cup, some weren't, because the World Cup only started in 1987. So we need flash. No good. Sorry about that, guys. That's not going to be any good, is it? Sorry, guys. I'll just. So what we're offering here is a one-stop shop, basically for everything that you need to know about this event. You can see at the top here we have tabs for the profiles for the Wallabies. We've got expert opinion, we've got the fixtures and the results. And what we've got within there is an interactive scoreboard. So it has everything you need to know. It has all the stats, it has it displayed in graphical form, it has video of every try, of every penalty within the match that pops up as you're watching on the scoreboard. So it's taking our content to a new level, and it's being done, as I said, once and given to all the mastheads so that they're not having to develop their own scoreboards on their own sites, having someone sitting there updating it regularly. We work very closely with Fox Sports and Network Sports Division. We own 50% of Fox Sports, and they provide us with much of our sports videos we can work with them on. They obviously have a broadcast quality for their sports content that we can't really provide from a newspaper basis, so it's a beautiful marriage for us there. So that's one of the existing sites that we've got on at the moment, with countdown clocks and everything to go with it. Back on the sport page, one of the other ones that we're working on at the moment is what we're calling London Bound, which is our Olympic site. On July 27, we launched our Olympic site with a year to go. It's the most ambitious coverage we've ever done for for Olympics to date. Fairfax hasn't even pretty much got an Olympic story on their websites at the moment, let alone an Olympic section. So, but it shows the level of coverage that we're trying to achieve and how much forward planning we're putting into our events. Sorry, guys. So with a year to go, obviously we don't have an awful lot of content in terms of all the sports that Aussies to watch, that sort of thing. Yep, that will build through the year. We don't want to bore people too quickly at the start. We want to give them something to come back to. But every event that's leading into the London Olympics, every qualifying event that's going on at the moment, the World Athletics Championships that recently run, this is a home for that content that is all leading towards London 2012. So if any of you have got athletes that are competing or that are working towards making it towards London, this site is a perfect home for it, and we'd be interested in hearing from you, definitely. And that's, if you're working with your other national bodies or you're working with other interstate colleagues, it is a national site, so we'd be interested in hearing from your interstate colleagues as well if you're talking to them. So after a year, could we say that the centralised network sports approach is working for News Limited? Well, undoubtedly the answer is yes. Our team has shown it has the talent, experience and determination to cover every breaking story, every big event from every angle, every minute of the day, and to get it to readers on any platform they want. There have been several examples of this recently. Our Wimbledon coverage and our Tour de France coverage we covered through the night. So anyone who either worked overnight or was an insomniac could sit up and view our coverage, our running coverage and our play-by-play coverage of the Tour de France as Cadell rode towards the Champs-Élysées. And if you didn't stay up to watch it, you got up at 5 AM, there was a complete package there waiting for you in the morning across all our websites with all our reports, our analysis, our video, our key stats, and a preview towards the next day. Our readership online has increased significantly year on year during the major sporting events with syndicated coverage. These include a 700% increase in online readership during the Ashes cricket campaign compared with cricket coverage the year before. 150% increase in online readership during the Australian Open tennis. A 200% increase for the Grand Prix. During the Tour de France, when we were providing that running copy, News Limited's websites attracted more than 600,000 unique browsers and 2 million page impressions. And these are huge figures that we've never seen before. But it's not only the readers who have benefited from the network sports creation, it's also enabled mutually beneficial relationships with our core advertising partners, going beyond the standard advertising relationship. Of course, this landscape is changing all the time. Dave mentioned this earlier. Social media has added a new element to sports coverage. And I think for grassroots sporting organisations, social media is another outlet that works very well for you. As do websites, this is free media that you can use to your best advantage. Facebook, Twitter, Google+, they're all means of spreading news and are being embraced by sports organisations and media groups alike. There's not a website that we create where we don't consider a Twitter feed, whether it be news reporting like a live service, or whether it's athletes tweeting to give us some sort of behind-the-scenes action. or our own reporters who are now embracing Twitter greatly to have that sort of feed on there. AFL clubs, for example, are more likely to tweet club news and put it on their own websites before contacting other media these days, making our jobs a lot harder, but the news cycle is speeding up as a result of it. Sports reporters regularly tweet the news and their opinions on sports stories during the day before filing for the website and then expanding on the news, digging a little bit deeper and analysing it for the paper. Shane Warne loves Twitter. I'm sure he's still a demon texter, I've got no doubt about that. But what he loves about it is that he's in control as well, and he can control the news cycle for the first time. He can release his own opinion, and he has many, at any time, and he can comment instantly on stories that he either feels he needs to correct or he wants to add to, such as he and Liz walking down the aisle. We'll wait to see that one. Sports stars, unfortunately, it's good for you, not so good for the media, but sports stars no longer need the media as much to talk to their fans. They can do it themselves on their own social media sites or on their own websites. So it's making our job all that more difficult. And as Dave said, you can now actually follow international sporting events via Twitter these days. You can follow a golf tournament in the US, play by play. It's like having your own wire news feed on your mobile phone. It's that instant information. But there is a difference between instant information and quality information. Network Sports prides itself on providing sports coverage at such a high standard that people would be prepared to pay for it on their websites and their digital platforms. Rupert Murdoch has made no secret of the fact that that day is coming. We will be ready. So what does this changing media landscape mean for you and your sporting organisations? And how can you ensure coverage in this saturated media market? Well, the digital products really do give you some comfort. The space on websites, apps and mobile phones is endless. You could run 1,000 stories every day on the web and never run out of room. Finding your story within the other 999 stories though is always going to be a challenge. On your own websites, you're obviously talking to a converted market, trying to get something into a news limited publication will expand your reach greatly. It's a matter of balance though, and obviously if you're placing things on your own website, people may expect to see that news there. If it's had to go through an editing filter in a news limited product, where an editor has picked it out of the 1,000 news stories he's got in front of him on a day and releases one of the top 100 or 200 stories, it obviously gets more gravitas as well. Which means that you still have to be the judge of the news value of the story that you are pitching and be sure that it relates to the audience of the media group that you are approaching. In Victoria, that might be that the Herald Sun, you might have a sports story about an elite athlete who would capture the imagination of the entire state. If your story is more localised, the young athlete on the rise making their way, Leader newspapers is probably your best mark. Leader has 1.8 million readers in Melbourne every week. Its market penetration exceeds any of the television station's top-rated shows, and half its audience is unique from that of either the Herald Sun or The Age. It is a very powerful tool. People underestimate it all the time. Leader also has a very, very popular website which is growing with a high readership, and so even if your yarn doesn't make it into the Leader paper, you still have a viable media option on the web. And if it's a country story, there's always the Weekly Times, and if it's quirky, they love it for events.